So, mini
Not
recap.
on YouTube, just for his own personal.
It's going to be a short recap because you're waiting for to have dinner with Strahd. So you've arrived at Castle Ravenloft. You were met by Escher and the Brides of Strahd and all of his Strahd's entourage. Entourage was playing his organ.
Oh, no.
When you arrived. So you've not actually met him yet. You were shown into a room which looked like it looks like an accountant's room. There's sort of ledgers and books and things all over. But in this room there were racks laid out. Racks and
the good sort.
Yeah, not the bad sort. Filled with clothes, wash basins, and things of that nature. And you were told, dress appropriately, get yourself cleaned up. Dinner with the Count is going to be in 2 hours. In the meantime, you have the run of the castle. They encouraged you, or Escher encouraged you, not to go into the dungeon. He couldn't vouch for your safety in the dungeon. Everything else has been made clear. There is a chapel that he mentioned to Jarek that you could visit. But you've got 2 hours and you're inside Castle Ravenloft.
Right,
what do you want to
find
do?
Some spare bedrooms and start taking shit. That's what we need to do.
Until my map sorts out, I'm going to spend 2 hours getting dressed.
Was there a library of any sort? Because we've not had libraries, but does he have...
I was going to ask about a library, to be fair.
Yeah, there is a library. Escher will point out to you. We'll say that Escher's still in the room. And again, it's so big. I've got to try and remember where it is. He will tell you that there is a library. Right, hold up. Let me try and remember. 50.
It'll be better. I think it'll work better if I connect to the server.
No.
Don't do that, yeah.
No, not that one.
See?
It's so big.
But we're definitely not going on OnlyFans.
Right, so we go.
It might be big, but is it the fastest model yet? That's the question.
Escher will tell you that the library is in the floor above you, which they refer to it as the Rooms of Weeping. You're currently in the court. You're in the court of the Count, and he tells you if you go up the stairs, he points behind the room that you're in. There's 2 doors. The room that you came in, and the room that you left before that. You remember there was a throne pointing towards the wall that you thought was quite curious, and then there's a room. There's a door on the opposite side that you've not been into yet, and he will tell you that in there's a circular staircase. If you go up the circular staircase through an antechamber into a dining hall. That's not the dining hall you're going to be dining in, that's a spare dining hall, and then turn north. That's where the study is, should you wish.
I don't think he'll like us rooted in the study.
Well, the
free reign of...
Sorry, go on.
Well, it's with Escher, it's going, obviously, you say study. Is this a private study? Or would we be able to do some reading to pass the time, or...
Feel free. The rules remain the same. Don't take anything that doesn't belong to you, but explore as you go. Just be careful. Try not to damage anything, because the master will not be too pleased if you do.
Long Johnson. Right, library. Right as well. There's going to be books in there.
Okay, so going to have a quick shift at the library.
Yeah. And I'm going to look up.
Are
I'm going to
we-
find a book on nobility and find out what's the proper address for a count.
Are we
Which is your
sticking?
excellency, by the way.
Are we all? Are we all wanting to stick together and move around this, or because obviously we're not really any safer as a group as we are individual? Do we want to split off to our own individual stuff, or how do we want?
Not a lot I want to do really. I'm just sit in the library and look stuff up.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But if some people want to go and sit in the library and look stuff up, it limits the others to going off anywhere if they want to spend time researching.
Quite happily go away, do whatever they like. That's what I reckon.
Yeah. Because as far as Jarek, I mean, all I was going to do is kind of leaf through some of the books and bobs that are in the room we're in, just to see if I can make any heads or tails of the accountancy, and then head to investigate this chapel.
Cool.
Do we see a spider or anything in the room?
In this room,
Yeah. Any bugs?
sorry, Dan. Is there a spider?
Is there a bug? Because I was just going to see if Jarek could kill it.
Squash it.
There would be spiders around, yes.
I mean, we could know for sure.
No, I'm fine. Just waiting till we'll find out.
I mean, I don't know if squashing a spider would be classed as a victory.
Yeah.
It was never really a question, was it?
He's got a
And
point.
with my meta knowledge of D&D, squashing one spider usually brings giant spiders down upon you. So I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
So in terms of the room where you are, if just rifling through the ledgers, it is an accounting room. And some of the records go back hundreds of years. Is there any particular... They're stored in terms of age?
No, I mean, it was just to kind of look at probably the more recent stuff, just to see... more so if there's... I mean, if it's accountancy, is it like almost kind of tax from the surrounding areas and things like that paid to the castle?
Tithes.
Tithes.
Yeah, not so much. The last few entries, they seem to be sort of spaced 10, maybe 20 years apart. And it seems to be an inventory of some coin, but also sort of there seems to be mentions of... You're not sure if it's acronyms or shortened versions of things, but every 10, maybe 20 years, there's an influx of some coin and something else, some other commodity, and then nothing for another 10 or 20 years.
So either he's not getting much in or his accountant's crap. Okay.
Is the accounting all signed as Strahd, or was there a time before Strahd and it was like the castle was owned by another person?
This the earliest records you go back to have the seal of Strahd on Zarovich.
Okay.
Yeah, I was mostly just seeing if there was going to be ties, just to see if there's any kind of names of towns or cities we've not really come across yet. But if it's not that kind of accounting, that's fine.
No, you'd be able to tell with what you found that he doesn't, as the lord of the land, he doesn't seem to be gaining an income from the populace.
Cool.
It eats them.
So, where next?
Well, I'll just be heading for the chapel myself, but I don't know what to do.
I want to see if I can find any mention in any book or encyclopedia of the name Kazan, Dave.
Okay, righto. Let's... Okay.
The chaperone, Adam.
Yeah,
You're welcome to follow along, but I'm literally just going to be...
Make sure you
trying
don't
to
steal
discern
anything.
if there's
I'll
any...
be following you, mate.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so let's
Let him use
do...
the goldfish bowl.
Akxikas, you're going to go up the stairs and through to the study.
Yeah.
Who's going with Akxikas?
Well, library.
Me.
Righto, okay. So, I'll describe most of this to you as we go. Then I'm going to take Akxikas' token off you, Mark, just to take control. So you're going to go into this stairwell here.
I've not even opened map tools. And that was going to be.
Tools with map.
Carry on. I'll be there in a sec.
Yeah, it's all right, dude. You'll be there by the time you.
Trousers explode.
Your trousers explode, apparently. And then you go up to the Rooms of Weeping, as Escher explained to you, to this landing here. Let me just make sure there's nothing that I need to cover. So no, it's just a circular stairway that climbs up. It's very dusty. You can tell that it seems to have been cleaned recently. Someone's made an effort after not much effort has been made for possibly quite a few years. That leads to, let me get rid of this one for you, the antechamber as you move into this. That's 35. A door of delicate engraved steel stands at the west end of the short, dark hallway. Intricate details stand out clearly on the door's surface. The door seems to shine with a light of its own, untouched by time. Flanking the doors are two alcoves in shadows. A dark, vaguely man-shaped figure stands in each alcove. That's
Alcove?
just...
You use this word?
Alcove?
Yeah, all of us. You use this word, yes?
Yes, he uses it. Alcove.
Yes.
What's that from? I don't recognise.
In Bruges.
It's what? In Bruges. I have seen In Bruges, but a long time ago.
I
It's-
haven't.
Oh, missing out. You need to
It's
revisit
great
it
film.
soon.
I can
Right.
remember Stop Being a Big Gay Baby, but that's all I can remember from In Bruges.
So many wizards
Remember
in
a
it.
lot of it.
So many wizards.
I am the Black Wizards.
You do what?
I am the Black Wizards.
You are all of them.
Yep.
In one?
Yep.
Wow.
It's a song by Emperor. It's quite good. It does explain the fact that he is all the wizards. It wasn't just a strange spelling error.
Never heard of Emperor. Is
Just
it?
the black ones, though.
It was the drummer got 20 years for murdering a gay guy in a park.
Is this one of your death metal fellas?
He's black metal they are.
Is it?
Yeah.
Arsehole sounds like it. To be honest. But
Yeah, I'll give you that.
The drummer was an arsehole, yeah. He's not in the band anymore. They kicked him out.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that a PR thing?
I think PR was involved. Well, they said, really, you can't have this guy now. He's a convicted murderer. It's probably best if you tell him to do one, so they did.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been in doubt, really. So what's the plan then? So we've got Akxikas, Nik, and Fester.
Library, and we're trying to.
You just push it through to the library. Let's take you through to the library. So, next room across is again. This is very dusty. It's a dining hall of some description. I'm just going to give you the short version. There's musical instruments in the corner, curtains over the window, and a door here, which is where Escher indicated that the library was. So all of this is sort of dusty. Some effort has been made, but not a great deal. And then we open this door to the north. Just pop you all.
Look at that.
Pop you all in.
Can I
in hither.
quickly detune his harp so all the strings play the same note?
Yeah. I think that's going to be the first roll of the night as a performance. I don't know.
Okay.
More sleight of hand, isn't it?
Well, you got to get the notes right, haven't you? You've got to discord the notes correctly.
Just find one. And then
In fact, it's not hard to muck up an instrument.
I shouldn't say shit really, because obviously, it means I then have to try and get my fucking technology to do something.
Yeah, all right, you've done it. So
Keep doing that during flights, Ted.
yeah, that'll be
It's
it.
alright, I'll load eventually, tomorrow maybe.
So you've made it to what looks like the study, or was indicated, and there's a blazing hearth, blazing A blazing hearth fire fills the room with rolling waves of red and amber light. The walls are lined with ancient books and tomes, their leather covers well oiled and preserved through careful use. All is in order here. The stone floors are concealed beneath a thick, luxurious rug. In the centre of the room is a large, low table, waxed and polished to a mirrored finish. Even the poker in its stand next to the blazing fire is polished. Large, overstuffed divans and couches are arranged about the room. 2 chairs of burgundy-coloured wood and with padded leather seats and back cushions face the hearth. A huge painting hangs over the mantelpiece in a heavy gilded frame. The rolling firelight illuminates the carefully rendered portrait. It is the exact likeness of Irina Kalyana. So if you remember Irina, she was the damsel in distress that brought you to Barovia.
Yeah, we left her with the priest, didn't we?
You did. And here, in a full-sized portrait, very expensive-looking gild frame, is the exact likeness of Irina Kalyana.
Okay. Does it look? I don't know if I can tell. Does it look obviously old, or does it look obviously new, or can I not tell?
Let's have a perception check then, just to see.
Perception. I'll give myself a D4 because
Okay.
I'm powerful. Yeah. So that's 20 plus. 21.
21. It's very old, you would guess. There's certain giveaways. It's not fainted. It's well kept. It's well preserved. But there's something about it with a 21. You can tell that it's perhaps of a style that you've not seen before. You've been in Barovia for a while now. You've seen sort of artwork. You guess that it's old.
Right, I've got a suspicion here, but nothing I can. Right then, is there any, as well as looking for books, folklore sort of stuff, to see if I can find anything with the name Kazan and the crypt of said person, and I want to find out if there's a history of Barovia or a book on if there's a book about Strahd.
Okay, as you let's have an investigation roll then, just to see, because you've only got. I mean, it's a big room. There's lots of books. You've only got.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I'll give myself a D4 again.
Yeah. Is anyone else looking for anything? Well, box. Well,
investigation is a 30 plus 30.
Specifically, say Lunar Shard.
3, so 16.
Okay, with a 16 in the sort of, are you gonna? Is this all you're doing, and then you're gonna go for dinner?
Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Okay, we'll sort that first then. If you want to roll an investigation as well, then for Nick. So with 16 for Akxikas, you find a book on Kazan.
Oh, so can I give Nick a D4 as well before we roll?
Yeah, sure, you can. Yeah, just in time. Kazan was a archmage, and he was brought into Barovia by Strahd, and you find a tale of how Strahd employed him and lots of his mages to construct Castle Ravenloft.
We have
16.
heard of him. He's the thing from the tarot reading. There was a. Can anyone remember what I'm talking about with the tarot cards? Where one of them was something to do with
an old wizard or something.
A wizard who was dead but not dead or something. I can't remember exactly.
I remember the tarot cards.
I mean, we've got them too, so.
Oh yeah, we can look on Discord. They're on there.
Wait, Ted's in.
Zedo. What am I doing? What am I looking for?
It's on Discord and the.
Your greatest ally will be a wizard. His mind is broken, but his spells are strong.
Muted, Ted.
This sounds like Kazan. I've been asked by my patron to investigate the crypt of Kazan, and I think he's told me how to open it.
Well, with your roll of 16, you'd find that little bit about Kazan, and you'd also find out that he is entombed in the crypts of Ravenloft.
So within the castle crypts here.
Yeah.
Right, that's really important. I'm just so I can say now, I'm going to make sure as soon as I can, I'm going to let everybody know all this.
And it's
opportunity.
Yeah, sure. The crypts are actually labelled. This is the catacombs. This is the catacombs that Escher told you not that they'd rather you not go into. Kazan's crypt is crypt 15 within the catacombs. But you
going down there.
You don't find out any more information about Kazan with a 16. With a 9 for Nik, there's
A 10.
The 10.
Plus one.
Okay. Anything on Saloon and Shah? I'm going to hit you with
He's
a
a
no.
Swiss footballer.
I'm afraid.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's for
Spend all my time looking for it.
Yeah. Well, that's a bit mean. You find a pantheon, a book of Faerunian deities. And it's inside another compendium of deities, so it's just a list. And it gives you the basics, so Saloon, Goddess of the Moon, Good Lycanthropes, and Shah, Mistress of the Night, and all that kind of thing. But no ties between them. You know more about Shah and Saloon.
And I found in the book. So.
Yeah.
What about stuff on? Is there a book specifically on? Oh, I can find information on the history of Strahd personally.
Can I have a go first?
Oh, sorry, mate. I forgot you were with me.
I've not just come for the fun of it. I do want to find some books myself.
Go on then.
The Beano, brilliant. Strangely enough, books on night hags and possibly soul contracts.
Okay. Let's have your investigation roll then.
I've got the page ready.
I'm going to go and trim the shrubbery. I should be back forthwith. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
17 off that. Oh, 18 even.
18, nice one. That's pretty good.
Hey, I can see a map.
Hey.
It's all coming together.
Let me zoom in.
It really is.
So with an 18 is a reasonable roll. You will find little bits of information that you already know. Night hags are originally fey creatures, were that evil that they were threw out of the Feywild into the lower planes where they thrived. And you find a little excerpt on in the plane of Gehenna. They are brokers for souls. And as you read more, you Vesta will realise that you couldn't have offered your soul to a worse being in the whole of existence other than night hags. They use souls as currency. And it will also tell you, again, that you've already figured out that now that they have your soul, it's worth more to them if you...
We'd agreed on that.
What was the deal?
When he dies.
The souls are worth more as currency if you would die having committed an evil act. And that's what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and wear you down until
you mentioned that last time.
Yeah.
We've already decided I'm going to piss in Dan's stream.
Has Ted ever killed a spider? Because that's pretty evil.
I think it's justified. 8 legs, 8 eyes.
I killed one today, I'm not going to lie.
He's a druid. He's killing spiders.
I do not like spiders. Turns out the woman in the office likes them even less.
Were you the saviour?
The conkers didn't work. I kicked the box really hard and managed to squash it with what was packed inside.
So that's your sort of best part of an hour and a half taken up with looking through the books, trying to find what you're after. So let's go down a floor, back to Jarek and Rokkr. So you already knew, you'd seen. Actually, no, you'd had the chapel pointed out to you. So there are 2 ways to get to it. I'll just. We'll say you asked Escher. What you can do is you can go out of this room, through the double doors along the corridor, and then look out over the chapel and then descend, or you can retrace your steps and go down the grand stairway and along the corridor. Up to you.
The new route, please.
The new route. Good thinking. So I'm going to open the whole route for you, Adam, if you want to explore it as you go. So you're going to be going along this way.
Oh, out the doors.
Yeah.
I didn't see
one's
the
listening
doors.
to you, Dan.
Oh no, never mind.
I can't listen to it. I can't listen to him. He's not here.
I wasn't going to ask Adam something. I was just going to ask Dave if after you've done the chapel bit, there's something else I thought of in the library. So after
Why
Adam,
didn't you just wait until they're done?
Because I'll forget.
Fucking shocking.
I'll go and stand there first and have a look around, Dave. I assume Rocker's not far behind somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm literally hanging on your coattails.
Stealthing along the wall.
Yeah.
So, the audience hall that you came through was the throne that's pointed towards the wall. The antechamber door reveals another set of double doors. And then there's, at the end of the hall... we don't need to know about that. So, and then you've got the long hall. 20-foot high hall has dark vaulted ceilings draped with cobwebs, but nothing else of any import. And then you've got a balcony that you're looking out over at the minute. You've got a sculpted stone railing encloses this long balcony, which overlooks Ravenloft's chapel. 2 ornate thrones stand side by side in the centre of the balcony, covered with dust and strung with cobwebs. The thrones face away from the double doors that give access to the balcony. So you very much get the impression that this would be the Lord's view of the chapel. So the hoi polloi would sit below. In the chapel itself, where the Lord and the Lady would sit in the thrones. You've got a stairway here that, as you can see, it goes down and then onto a landing which swings round onto a U-turn which descends into the chapel itself. So, you going down?
Well, I was just going to kind of look over the balcony first and kind of just kind of get the lay of it before I head down.
Yeah, no problem. Dim coloured light filters through the tall, broken, boarded up windows of stained glass. That's going to be on this wall here. And it's illuminating the ancient chapel of Ravenloft. A few bats flutter about near the top of the 90-foot high domed ceiling. A balcony runs the length of the west wall, which you're stood on, 50 feet above the floor. In the centre of the balcony, you can see 2 chairs. That's where you are. Benches coated in centuries of dust lie about the floor in jumbled disarray. Beyond this debris, lit by a piercing shaft of light, the altar stands upon a stone platform. The sides of the altar are carved with bas-reliefs of angelic figures entwined with grapevines. The light from above falls directly onto a silver statuette. A cloaked figure is draped over the altar, and a black mace lies near its foot. So just to clarify then, stained glass window, you've got this statuette here, and it's an angelic looking statuette, very pious, as if in prayer. You've got a figure here that's not actually on the map. It looks like a humanoid figure that's collapsed with a black mace next to it. One thing that you would be able to tell is every room that you've been in so far, an effort has been made to make it not look unused. The chapel, however, is covered in decades, centuries worth of dust, cobwebs, and has clearly not been entered into for some time.
Alrighty then.
So,
What we're doing, brother?
I was just saying, do I? Obviously, I imagine it's a very silent, still room. Do I get any form of sense? I've never really asked this in any of in the other chapels we've been to before. If I get any sense of presence as to whether or not the guard, the Morning Lord, still pays attention to this shrine at all, or.
Okay. Are you how much concentration are you putting into this? Are you saying a prayer to do it? Or are you just?
I'll definitely be. So I will be saying a prayer, but I'll be waiting until I'm down in the altar itself before that. But my initial reaction of walking into the room is probably a bit desolate, I imagine.
Okay.
When I'm down in front of the altar, I'll be looking to pray and stuff.
Gotcha.
It was just my initial reaction. And the other question is, with the stained glass windows, you say they're broken and boarded, is there enough visible that I can see if there is any form of like picture in the stained glass, or if it's just a generic stained glass pattern?
Well, that's an easy one to resolve because that's a perception check.
Yep. So
It's a picture of a tiny barbarian and a little
I will
unicorn.
be using guidance on myself because I've had it memorised for ages and still haven't bloody used it or remembered. So,
Sound.
so I've actually got it for one. So I will be guiding myself before this one. So perception. So 9 plus a d4. So it's not doing particularly well. 12.
12. The boards and the broken windows aren't giving you much. What you're getting is what looks like two figures next to each other, perhaps one male, one female. You get the top of the hair. One slightly bigger than the other. The one on the right, the bigger one, seems that you sort of has it got a beard? Is that a beard underneath that board? And the other one is wearing sort of flowing robes. Not much else.
Okay. But I was told that this was the Morning Lord's. They did say it was to do with the Morning Lord, wasn't it? Yeah, that's fine. So it's most likely going to be an interpretation of them.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I can't think what the other figure would be, but anyway. Okay, so I'll move down into the chapel proper itself then.
Okay.
One sec. Before you do that, I was going to say, noticing that I can see Adam sort of apprehensive and normally so confident, I'm sort of suddenly, because my original sort of remit in my head is I was following him, but more kind of out of a courtesy, so he wasn't on his own, and just to watch his back, but not really paying too much of attention because, you know,
His testicles really gently, just enough to make it, stain.
Aren't really my thing. But noting his apprehension, I suddenly sort of become alert and start looking around. Can I sense anything that doesn't seem quite as it should?
As it should. Let's have a perception check from you then.
Ooh, terrible.
Yeah.
Higher than Adam with just a +9.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, never mind, Jim. It's again not much else. You sort of, you both sort of squinting at the same thing. What I'll give you both, being as you're sort of scoping it out, you're not under any threat. So it's quite easy to see that the figure on the floor seems to be dressed in quite a fine robe. But it seems to be a skeleton of a humanoid that died some time ago.
Human
is the only other thing that's untoward. Everything else is it's covered in dust and cobwebs. No footsteps, nothing to indicate that there's been any passage for ages.
I'm happy enough at that point to kind of move down, but still kind of cautiously. I feel very cautious in the room that the entire castle avoids. I understand why they avoid, but
Yeah.
I follow him in, but just remain at the door. Just
where have I gone?
Letting him go.
Let's put you.
Rokkr.
Let's put you there. Hold up. So we got Jarek.
Fucking thing with this on.
So I would have come down these stairs here.
Exactly right, dude. Yeah, spot on. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's the landing that would be upstairs. Yeah. So I've walked down here. Okay. So two new things.
Yeah. So as you walk down and move around, the staircase is made of old wood. that strains underfoot, creaking and groaning. This is you would make note of the fact that this landing here, the wooden landing, even though the map maker made it stone. These maps, by the way, these aren't part of the official campaign. These are fan maps. Very good though, very good.
Standing up in my pants. My apologies.
At least you got rid of your camera, Jim. Thanks.
Yeah, I thought I'd do that.
Yeah.
You know, when we see my sweaty.
What?
Anyway.
So the landing, this arched room connects a vast chamber to the east and a staircase that rises to the west. Alcoves in the north and south hold 8-foot-high sculptures of helmed knights with muscular builds. Black shadows fall across their faces. So very menacing-looking knights, you know, holding swords, hoods on, type thing. Huge 8-foot-tall efforts.
So we've. Sorry, I missed that. So we've gone through a door and then down some stairs.
Yeah, you were overlooking the balcony, so you were above,
right,
which is where the thrones were here. You went down these stairs onto the squeaky balcony, and then down these stairs into the chapel itself.
So from the balcony, I can see everything, can I?
Yeah, are you still on the balcony?
I'm just thinking, if I figure I can see everything, would I follow him down? How distance? No, I think I'd follow him down because I don't know. Let me. You're about to say something, Adam.
I was just going to say before I move through, because just from the description that you've given so far on those, Dave, to me, with my knowledge of the Morning Lord, they feel out of place for his temple. So I just want to examine one of them more closely, just to kind of see if there's anything. Marks, engravings, anything that will kind of jump out at me, because it just doesn't. They don't feel quite right for what should be in a Morning Lord's temple, or even if I just can tell if they're not in with the same kind of time or era that the rest of the temple was from.
And before he does that, sorry, can I just say that I think I would have followed him down, because staring over a balcony, albeit that's a great sniper position, that isn't really my. I feel like I'm invasive on what he's doing here, so I'm just going to follow him down the stairs until I can wait at say that, this would seem how do I put it on the screen? This would seem appropriate here, but here almost seems like voyeuristic.
Got you. Okay. So yeah, you're both down. You follow him down. In terms of what it looks like, how much would? It feels like a history check to me for Jarek.
Yeah, I can go with history. So again, I'm going to be naughty and hit myself with guidance. So while I'm looking it over, so we've got a 17 plus a d4.
Nice.
So 20. Dirty 20 plus 3, 23.
Okay, you've heard possibly. In fact, no, you'd have seen with your military background. You'd have seen similar things before. This is it is a pious chapel. It is a chapel to a good deity. Everything about it is pointing towards that. And with these large statues, it reminds you of your military chapel. So instead of just a chapel in a village, it's a war. You get what I'm after.
Yeah, I get what you're after. So I would say it's just the description made them come across a lot more sinister than they possibly are. They're just big armoured sculptures.
They do look sinister, but it's more of a military chapel than an actual, pure monastery type thing.
Yeah. So they're a bit more in keeping with what should be here.
Yeah. Now I've been debating with the old heebie-jeebies if I should ask you for a roll, and I don't think I should. What you'd get is so as Jarek steps onto the actual floor of the chapel, you get a vague sense of almost welcome and peace. But whereas you've stepped into chapels before, certainly not in Barovia. I mean, you've been into the church in the village of Barovia. You've been into the the church in Vallaki. Vallaki wasn't hallowed, and you knew about it straight away. The church in Barovia similarly was a haunted place. This is still a holy place, but it's almost as if you're feeling all of this through a veil.
Right. So, I'd have naturally kind of would have moved out heading towards the centre point, but before then moving up to it, I'm going to kind of investigate the offshoot here just so I know what's this way.
Sure.
And at this point, we're seeing that there's another offshoot with it. I will actually gesture to Rokkr silently, just kind of catch his eye and kind of point towards that bit first and start to head towards it.
Yeah, sure. Well, even as you get a bit closer, you see that the arched room connects to a vast chamber to the east, which we're already in. To the left is a landing. The stairs curl down into darkness beyond these two statues. The statues,
Down.
Down and up.
Oh, down and up. Okay.
Yeah, so to the right, to the south, down, and then up here. The statues are similar to the military statues further to the north. To the right of you, as you're looking, the stairs climb into thick drapes of cobwebs. Thick drapes. They're same as the chapel itself. The cobwebs are that thick that you can't see further than 2 feet, 2-3 feet. That's going up. Alcoves in the north and south hold 8-foot high sculptures. Blah 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 blah. Down below, as you sort of have it, I'm gonna put this on Jarek that you're gonna have a shufty down here, or at least Rokkr would have a shufty down here. Just about here, I've not put it on map tools. There's what looks like a new addition to the castle. Everything else seems to have been built for a purpose. Here is a wall that seems to have been cobbled together, rough masonry and stuff to compact it together, concrete type stuff, and it looks like it's been built well after the castle was made, and it is very much to stop people from getting in. As you get a little bit closer, certainly with what's both of your passive perceptions? They're both quite high.
14 for me.
Yeah. So you would notice in this this new relatively masonry wall, there is
19.
Yeah, I knew yours was ridiculous, Jim. There's a small chink.
That's
Small
really
what,
racist, Dave. It's a Chinese person.
No, that's just too much. There's a crack, if you like, that you can feel a breath of wind with your passive perception as you're looking in.
Okay.
Suddenly do a...
Yeah. So,
I think I'll make a coffee, try and boost my energy levels.
I'll attract Rokkr's attention again, so I can talk quietly to him. Again, as much as I'm feeling peace and everything here. This doesn't. So what Jarek will basically kind of go across to Rokkr is, we're obviously in an area that no one in the castle goes to. I gesture down the road and gesture down the stairs and kind of back at the altar, and say that to me, sensibly, that would be an entrance to some form of catacomb or leading from the chapel. It's the only thing I could think it would be. I would like to investigate, have a look at the altar, but both the upstairs area that's completely unused and seeing if we can ascertain what's beyond that wall would be sensible. So I'm going to go and investigate the altar. So I'm going to say you're welcome to wait with me, unless you wanted to start, cutting through some of that cobwebs, heading up the stairs. Because if there's any rooms up there that are completely unused, we may find old information that is useful.
I am feeling. I expressed to you that I'm not necessarily out of my depth here, but I'm feeling like at any step I could literally just explode in terms of my anger and to the situation that we're in. So I'm just going to carry on being a sheep.
Yeah.
So I will, I'll consult with you and talk to you and offer. If you ask me for my opinion, I'll offer it. Otherwise, I'm literally just going to be okay. Off we go, kind
I'll
of thing.
just kind of gently, not gently but firmly, just pat him on the back and nod my head, and then head over to investigate the altar. Then.
Sure. So as you get a bit closer, I'm going to ask for with both of you doing it. Who's? I'm just going to meta this. Who's got the best +2 medicine?
I'm at +7.
Okay, roll your medicine with advantage then, because you as you approach this corpse, you can both have a sort of a quick look, so it'd be considered that you're
24.
Yeah, 24. So what you've got in front of you is a dead human, and with
is this the one that was about here?
Exactly. What you can't figure out is what he would have died from. It's been there a while. This corpse. It's just a skeleton pretty much, and it's almost as if it's a collapse without any. It's right on the steps, so the head and the hands seem crumpled up against the altar itself, and the legs further down, as if it's while stood at the altar suddenly collapsed for some reason.
Is the mace actually like the 8 foot long that it looks like it is on the map?
No. It is. You've never. Would you have seen anything like? I doubt very much. No, you'd have never seen anything like it. It is quite a fancy piece of kit. It's a black mace with, instead of just the normal round ball with the bubbles on, the bubbles look like almost gargoyle-y, sort of not necessarily screaming angry faces, but there's sort of stylized baubles on it, and it's black. It's almost jet black. This mace is. And in front of you on the altar is this serene-looking cup of tea. Thanks very much.
Serene-looking cup of tea.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I was going to say, I want a serene cup of tea.
Yeah.
So it is. It's a 12-inch tall statuette made of purest silver. It depicts a cleric kneeling in supplication with hands out in front. Now,
Does it look?
Sorry.
Does it look like the hands would hold the mace? Dan, shut up.
A lot smaller. It's still it's still chunky. The mace is a mace.
So it doesn't look like the statue's size to hold this mace.
No, I like where you're coming from, but no.
Because you saw what was going to happen next. I put it on it. The dais sinks below the ground.
Well, let's say just to rule it out, you do that, nothing happens.
Yeah, because you knew that was coming at some point.
I'd be doing exactly the same thing, did you?
Yeah. So the mace is actually, the kind of mace in the correct size that we could wield and carry, kind of thing. It's a mace that could be used. It's just quite elaborate in its look.
Yes.
Okay. But does it look elaborate into the point that it is purely ornamental, or is it, this is a usable mace?
Are you going to pick it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels it's a usable mace. It's as a military man. You've just made Dan go a little bit crazy. As a military man,
the end of Raiders.
You're used to the balance of a weapon and things of this nature, things that I actually know nothing about. It's as weapons go, it's very balanced, but it weighs a lot lighter than you'd expect it to, and you take a few swings with it, twirl it round. And it's you get the sense that there's more to it than just a normal mace.
Okay. But it's completely covered in dust, untouched, and
yes.
Apart from the fact you just touched it.
Apart from the fact, yeah. The statuette, however, has no dust on it whatsoever. and it's the only thing in this room that stands out as not having any dust on it whatsoever.
Is the statue fixed to the ground, or?
Nope. You can pick it up. Do you want to pick it up?
No, I was just asking also whether it was a fixed one or moving on. But yeah.
Whether it
Really?
might get up and twat you.
Really shiny where it's just being rubbed constantly.
Yeah.
We are talking about the statue, yeah?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Pretty statue.
I'm in a bit of a quandary as to what to do here now, because statues on I can't understand how the entire room is filthy and dusty. So I'll turn to Rokkr and just say and just ask us, his eyes, what do your elf eyes see? And just ask him to kind of look to see if he can see anywhere where there may have been footprints in the dust that would lead up to it to show that someone is coming to maintain this statue.
Is there a reason why this
wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. So again,
especially when nothing else, this looks wrong. That looks wrong.
This sounds like an investigation check to me.
I can do that.
You can roll perception if you want, Jim, because your perception is ridiculously good, isn't it?
I'm going to silently cast gas in the library.
Oh, that'll do.
That'll do, natural 20. You're pretty sure, as you scan around and as you think back, the marks that you guys have made coming in here, there's no way that you can think of that anyone would have been able to get near to this statue without some kind of disturbance. Even to the fact that where the statue is, on the altar's covered in dust. It's almost as if dust doesn't adhere to the statue.
Yeah, so it's some kind of magical enchantment on it, opposed to any known possibility to an elven ranger how it could not have dust on it.
Perception check of 29, that's exactly what you surmise.
Back to you.
Yeah, really not sure what to do about this. There's something about the mace that calls to me to take it with us, even though we're not meant to be taking anything. Especially when it's in an abandoned chapel that they don't go into.
Will notice. Put it down.
Sorry?
I'm not there, but if I was, I'd be saying you'll notice. Put it down.
But you're not there.
I'm not there. So I'm not saying.
So for now, I'm just going to place the mace on the altar next to the statue, and then I want to investigate the stairs up.
Sure. It is totally covered in cobwebs. So if you're gonna if you're gonna go, you're gonna have to sort of hack your way through almost.
Have you got a long sword, Rokkr? Because I've only got a mace.
I have a short sword.
It's going to do better than a mace.
Yeah, I have a pretty big bow.
What she said, anyway.
Well, it's like 6 foot, I'd imagine. Yeah, it's a pretty fucking big bow. So it'll be bigger than the short sword, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to wear to dinner, a 6-foot bow.
And nothing else.
And nothing else.
It's a long bow, isn't it? So it's got to be... Yeah. They're like...
6 foot.
Yeah,
6 foot, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty big. Bigger than a short sword, that's for sure.
Okay, let me just double check this, because like I say, it is a huge old place, so you can't...
Inventory...
Bigger than your bow.
Yeah.
What are caltrops again?
Little things that...
You use them for climbing.
D4s that you use
Which depends.
to spike people's feet.
Yeah.
Spiking people's feet, okay.
Jumping
The
jacks.
things you play jacks with.
Scatter a load of Lego on the floor, then run over it. That's caltrops.
Right, yeah.
But don't you also use them for climbing as well, though?
No, that's pitons.
Pitons.
That's like a spike that you hammer into cracks in the rock so you can tie ropes.
No, I mean on your shoes.
They're crampons.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
I knew it was something similar.
Yeah, they're used in when
and
you
the
go in
soft
up ice
versions of them that you put up your hoo-ha.
TV's crampons.
Where's this conversation gone?
This is why I need to prepare more, because you guys just go off on way tangents.
Wander around the castle and talk about shit.
59.
Yeah, I have this.
And
I
I
have
rolled
this
to see
issue.
if that fart smelled bad.
Is there anywhere else you'd like to go? What room haven't we been in yet, Dave? Load
Right.
it.
What's the deep when you roll?
Just gonna
Right,
get
got
some
it,
more.
got it, got
What's
it.
the deep
got it.
deal
Oh,
doing
got
a
it.
smelly fart, Dave?
I'll nudge Nick and see if he can smell baby food.
So if as you're hacking through this and it goes up and up and up, you can tell that you're going higher than the floor above, and there's no exit, and you can continue round. You can take your time. It's going to take a lot of time to do this.
Right, well, how much time have we had here so far?
Not much, not a great deal of time. You've done a fair bit of checking, so I'll just round it up to half an hour.
Okay, so we're probably realistically, if we want to be able to get back and get cleaned and get changed for those that are willing to change, we've got about an hour maximum to investigate this.
Yeah, with and how it looks. So you can either do it slowly checking for things and not making much progress, or you can get up there, get through the cobwebs, see what's there in front of you without checking for the unseen.
Now, if you hadn't have asked the question, I'd have just been going for it.
Well, I mean, there's a two sort of pronged approach. Yes, my longsword is better at clearing
You haven't got a
cobwebs,
longsword.
but sorry, my longbow.
It depends on the toughness of the weapon. If it's easy to break, you'd use your bow, just push it aside. If it's tough to, if it needs cutting through, you'd use your sword. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, if one person is sort of charging through, the other person surely has time to literally, obviously not let them get too far ahead, but gives them a little bit of time to investigate. I mean, how wide are these stairs? Can one person cut the path through them, or does it need two of us to untangle the way? Could Adam be clearing a path and me investigating, or vice versa?
Oh, I'm with you. No, they're pretty grand. They're pretty wide, but investigating still takes a lot of time.
Okay.
So you're talking. Generally speaking, how I like to run a check is 10 minutes, and that's just for a small section.
Can I just set the spider web on fire?
That would work, yeah.
I'm just thinking.
I'm not there.
Please don't do that.
I know Pester's not here.
Yeah.
Jarek shouts, "Goose!"
But I'm just thinking because spiderweb burns quick and fast and goes out in no time. Have you ever tried burning
really old dry wood?
Right. I'm just going to do a quick perception check to see if this could go horribly wrong. Can I smell anything? Is something else going to burn? Is it
Could this go
stone?
horribly
How
wrong?
dry is
Yes.
the wood?
Go on.
Cat.
There's a cat.
There is a cat. He's all furry.
23. No, you're pretty sure that with just a standard torch, you'd make decent progress.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Going upstairs. Right, so let's give you a little bit more then. So what I'm going to give you...
Excuse me.
A bucket of cheesums.
I'm just going to take Jarek.
I am very, very tempted to take the mace on the way back out.
A little bit of hamster food in my
Right,
life.
I'm going to take multiple Jareks, in fact, because it makes it a lot easier.
There's many of me. I mean, depending on how many multiple Jareks he puts in, we might actually be able to take Strahd.
So,
we're just an army of Jareks.
We will
Not
combine
if you can't
turn
kill
them
him.
Yeah, that's.
No, but get to one many times.
An army of Jareks would be the worst thing to send against him.
Yeah.
Thousands of frustrated clerics.
All of them with spirit guardians active.
Oh, that'd be a bad starter turn for him.
Do need to get some water quickly.
yeah, no problem. That would be horrible. Can you cast daylight or anything yet? So what I'm going to give you then is you get the impression just generally that from the main floor you go up 1, 2. This is 3
floors.
3 floors above. Yeah, I was just recounting it to make
I'm
sure.
I'm still loading, so I'm not to the map yet. I'm 40. Oh, there we are.
Okay.
Ooh.
So as you go up, there's an exit here which leads onto this balcony, and it's an exit into the outside. So the 60-foot diameter roof is rimmed with battlements. A slender stone bridge with no railing spans the gap between the tower and a slightly taller tower to the north. To the east, the high tower of Ravenloft thrusts skywards with no apparent opening at this level. So as you've come out here, there's this bridge with nothing on it whatsoever to another set of stairs that runs up. What you can see is a red glow, and you can just see the bottom of what looks like a massive, huge crystalline structure hanging from the ceiling.
Is it a dildo? I'm not there.
Have I any idea what that is?
Yeah, same.
A dildo, yes.
Don't know what a dildo is, or my character doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
He's travelled with Akxikas.
Only because you showed me.
We already know you're a perv. We heard about what you did on those dust elves.
As
I shouldn't
To
have.
do with blood.
You see, I'm a colossal pervert.
As you step into the spiral staircase, a reddish light flares high overhead, then settles into a dull, pulsing red glow. Now you see the full immensity of the tower. The spiral staircase circles to the tower's full height. The tower, 60 feet wide at the base, becomes narrower and climbs at the pinnacle of the hollow tower. A large crystal heart pulsates with red light. Above the heart, the stairs continue upwards. I mean, this thing is... it's huge, absolutely vast. Crystalline heart, just pulsating.
Big even.
But we have no idea what it is.
It's a piece of cheese.
Let's have a Arcana check.
Oh, that's not good. I'm as much as I've been using guidance, I feel Jarek will be a little bit too stumped at this point to think about casting guidance. So I'm just going to go,
okay.
18, still respectable.
18's pretty good. 18's a pretty good roll, which should obviously give you a decent indication when I tell you that you've never heard of such a thing. Yeah.
Never. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine and understandable. Tower-wise, you say it goes quite a way. I mean, still time-wise, would I know I've got enough time to get up to the top of the tower and have a look?
Yes, it's quite it's a decent climb, but going down would be a lot easier. Yeah, you're fit adventurers, aren't you? So yeah, you'd be able to get up without. So,
nothing to us. Run around.
Clearly. Let me just make sure I can see. Oh, okay, I see. Right, I'm just going to grab your token, wang it over that side, and then similarly over to the top.
Okay.
So let me just double check. Show as player. Yeah, there you go. So as you go up the stairs, there's a trapdoor on top, and then you can make your way up. Let me find.
Is Rokkr still with me? I assume.
Yeah. I'm still on your heel. Yeah.
15. So that was the tower roof. The bridge. A strong wind blows across a slender bridge. A stone masonry. The bridge is no iron railings have rusted away. So that was the bridge. And then the peak that you're in. So that's 60A. Okay, the where you ascend to, the spiral staircase finally ends in a 5-foot wide stone walkway that circles the shaft. In the centre of the tower's highest floor, a 15-foot diameter hole drops into the cold heart of Ravenloft itself. Cold air rushes up the shaft, sending a chill through you. Arrow slits line the walls, and aging beams support a steep cone-shaped roof. One beam and part of the roof have fallen away, leaving a gaping hole open to the stormy sky. So that's the right. I just need to make sure I'm giving you the right thing here. Tower big drops to map. Right, so that was
If you were
18.
curious to know how warm it is up here, about an hour ago my phone went, I'm a bit too warm, which is concerning.
Wow.
My phone.
It's quite,
Right.
quite warm at work. The car park's melting.
Down to
I think the only time my phone's ever done that's when I've been on the beach in Spain.
wow.
To be fair, I did have my lights on as well, but I've turned my lights off now. So.
Okay, so you were climbing up these stairs because these stairs actually continue up as well.
Which ones?
Oh,
bloody hell.
Yeah, so, I know. It's so confusing. I'll show you. I don't know if you can actually see. That's what it kind of gives me, but it doesn't sort of say which bit connects to which necessarily. Well, it does, but it's.
Dave, you're the DM. You decide which bit connects to which.
Yeah. Well, that's why. That's why. What I'm going to say to you is
it feels like the severed hand.
The what? Sorry.
The severed hand in Icewind Dale. There's a tower called the severed hand, and it's as confusing as this, going up and down different steeples and because the steeples are all fingers of the hand, and you're going up and down different ones. I can never find anything I want in them.
Yeah.
I always end up in the wrong one. It's for God's sake.
Your treasure chest is in another castle.
Well, no, you have to deliver things to certain people, and they're at the top of the tips of different fingers, and none of the fingers are connected.
Yes.
So you have to go all the way up, get the wrong one, all the way back down, and up the next bugger.
Yeah. So in fact, I'm not going to give you much more, dude. I'm gonna leave it there.
So what I've got is
It's because you don't know.
No, well, I do. I've just read it. So
what I can see is what I've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so obviously the roof space looks to be completely empty. Is this the bit that we said there's a gap in the roof missing?
That's the actual top. So you've come up here. There's a ladder leading up. Yeah, leading up to there. So again, you're overlooking Barovia. You're at the highest.
There's not really anything. So there's nothing to see other than a fantastic view.
A wonderful view of Barovia. Yeah.
Right.
Probably
Can I get
loads
out
of clouds, I'd have
Can I
thought.
get out my phone and take a panorama, and then we'll go back there?
Yeah.
So I want to have just a nosy around here. So this appears to be Strahd's secret love room, judging by the straps and the manacles.
Yeah, it's a dreary room. There's manacles attached to the wall. There's a wooden framed bed, and then there's a trap door. There is.
Is there actually a chest on the floor for me to have a look at?
There is a chest on the floor.
Is it breathing?
Squeeze it. At the foot of the bed rests a closed iron chest. Its sculpted lid, its lid sculpted with an emblem. So it is locked.
Okay, does it say what the emblem is?
Yeah.
Throw the elf at it.
The emblem is Strahd's family crest.
Okay, so we've got a locked iron box. Well, I haven't got a chance in hell of getting into it.
You've got a mace, haven't you?
But I say, rather than trying to force the lock, that's a... Ooh. Could I pour my vial of acid into the lock to see if it melts the mechanism?
If you want to.
When did you get a vial of acid?
Way back in the shop that we were allowed to raid, I just decided to take a vial of acid.
Well, fair play.
Everybody,
I'm not concerned about that.
he's going to know. He is going to know.
Mark,
Can you behave?
you're not there.
No.
No. So there's looking around. There's nothing. There's nothing else obvious in the room. It is just that iron box, and it's definitely locked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying it's not one of these. I'm assuming it's locked. So I've not tried it. I'll turn to Rokkr and ask if he's got anything that would get through because I don't want to leave any lasting damage. Because I say, unlike the other, I feel more comfortable taking the mace because it's in an abandoned room, whereas this is a used, well, not necessarily used room. Does it look like it's been cared in any way for at all, or
it looks like the room has been used. The bed has been slept in. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to cause any damage or anything. So unless Rokkr's got a way of opening it, I'm just going to be leaving it and heading back down, I think.
Let me have a look. I'm pretty sure I haven't got any lock.
Boo!
Tools. Climbing tools, cartographer's tools, a pan flute.
Make a map of the castle with
I
the
have a
cartography tool.
crowbar.
Damage it, yeah.
Hit on, but I've got nothing that would.
So, note
open
to
it
self,
at all.
note to self, we need to buy lockpicks.
Yeah, and I kind of look at sort of Jarek and go, well, I'm all for anarchy, but how wise is this? Should we get into it anyway?
If only
Yeah,
one of you was female, you could have used the wire from your brassiere.
I'm happy to leave it if that's the case. If we've not got a way of getting in without causing actual damage to it, as much as I'm curious. So I'm going to return to the chapel because obviously I'm aware of time. I don't think we've got time to explore the other tower. Or how are we for time, Dave? You tell me.
Yeah, I think you're gonna struggle. You still need to get changed. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So we're going to head back down to the chapel, and I just want to give the silver statue one more go over, just to make sure there's nothing that we're missing, and then I'll make the decision on what I'm doing with the mace.
Okay.
Just go down in a fancy shawl of spiderwebs.
So into the main
Hang
chapel.
on, just one thought just before we did go back down though, Dave, because you said obviously the route we took up was heavily cobwebbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see any other way to that landing that we were just on there.
Or spiders.
Let me get my research on again.
Where are the cobwebs coming from?
Otherwise, how if we've just been through a room that's used and I've got
Yes, in fact you did.
That's fine.
K20. Did you want to go down the new route?
No, as long as I saw one that could. Well, I mean, I'd have probably had a kind of look through if it's a doorway or something just to see what's on the other side.
So let me take you back up.
Again, we're still aware of time.
Yeah. So back up to the roof. This is where you came in. This stair is, as you've ascended this stair, it does descend as well.
Okay, right. That's fine.
And it,
Yeah,
as you look down, you can tell. You know what? What I'm going to do, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky here, and let me just double check. Yep. I'm going to put you. You have enough time. You figure out you have enough time to go down, perhaps a flight or two. As you come down, what I'm going to do is just give you this. Let me just load you up for 1 second. Here. So don't change your map at all. Just view this for now.
Yeah.
And as you swing around, that's the crystal is above you.
Yeah, that's the whole.
Yeah, there's a corridor here that moves along, which is dark alcoves line the wall of this long hall. The ceiling has fallen here, leaving rubble strewn across the floor. Overhead, the beams of Ravenloft roof are exposed, and then there's a door here. And from this door, you can hear sounds of Nik wanting to discuss things, Fester wanting to burn things, and Akxikas being a dickhead.
It's a fairly standard stuff.
He's not even there. Oh.
Yeah, he's not even there.
Oh.
So, okay, so I know that's kind of where the guys are. So that's what it's just. I didn't like the idea of the fact that hang on, how's people are getting up there if we came up the route? Yeah, that's fine. So I will. I'm still going with heading back to the chapel. I'm not bothered about going to speak to those cretins.
Okay, I'll just.
So is that a door? That's the door.
That's
right,
the door.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're in a room and they've not examined all the doorways leading into the room.
They've not.
You can tell they're not. You can tell they're not military minded.
I was reading the Beano.
You can tell they are not military minded. It's check your exits, guys. Check your exits.
Okay.
I've got a goose. I don't
Right,
need exit.
so-
I am the exit.
He is. We can get anywhere in the castle as long as it's within 15 feet, and it's not a big castle, right?
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah, I kind of feel there's something I'm missing with the statue, but I don't really know what to do with it at this time.
You've got.
I am going to pick it up just to see if that
pick
does
me
anything.
golem. Don't
Okay.
touch it.
When you pick it up, you get a sense of serenity from it. This is a holy object.
But I don't recognise what the statue is of. Well,
Nope.
I mean, I'm guessing Lord-esque stuff, but
Yeah, it's no. You've got what I'd say
Shiny
to you
nipples.
is, in terms of time, you'd perhaps have another 10 minutes before you'd have to bolt back to the
Head back.
room, get washed,
Yeah.
and then I'm giving you 10 minutes to get dressed. So you've got another
Yeah.
10 minutes to dick around in this room if you wanted to.
I hope you picked out what you're wearing.
last one back to the room has to pick what other people wear for them.
And no,
Shouldn't
be
my
first
fucking
one
clothes.
Yeah. Which is going to make it interesting.
This means the last one walks in and everyone's there naked waiting. That's weird.
Wednesday night.
Fine. Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing that I can think to use casting wise that help on it, and I really don't know what else to do about the statue. I don't recognise it. I know it's magical. I know when I'm comfortable that this is not a corrupted place, and this is probably why it's left alone. The skeleton at the floor we said is bones. There's not really anything on it.
No, the cloak is a fine cloak. It's dark with silver embroidered cloth. You can tell that the cloak itself would be worth a decent amount of gold, but nothing else.
So I place the statue back down and kind of look to Rokkr and just say that there's something I'm missing here, but I can't place what it is, and just again pick up the mace and just kind of hold it in my hand and kind of look to Rokkr and look to see if he says anything.
I mean, is it something that I'm aware of? A mace? Is it in my repertoire?
You've never seen one
Do
before.
I say I'd leave it there, mate, or am I? Can I? I mean, are you asking me my opinion on it, or whether you should take it?
Not just the mace. It's not the mace in general. It's just the room in general, in case there's anything that you can think
the whole
of.
thing. Well, I mean, I got a perception check of 29, didn't I? Was that on the crystal, or was that on the? No, this was on the statue. So I'd imagine that extends to everything here, and I'm stumped. It's beyond.
You're stumped. Yeah, I said there's something.
comprehension.
I don't know. I feel there's something here, but
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
I'd agree,
sure.
because there's things that I can't explain, but I can't put it into words, and I'm feeling that we just leave this shit alone. Unless
Sorry,
you really
that's
want that mace.
That's tickled me, because that's Jimmy going, have I got an awareness of maces? I've not seen one of them before. I'd leave it.
This particular one, you.
So if he stood there and said, "Have I got an awareness of maces?" Jarek could be like, "I'm the mace."
So let's take you back. Let's take you all back to the
Looks
room.
like a metal knobbly thing. I don't know.
I've not seen one of them before. I don't trust new things.
So yeah, we'll head back. I mean, which group gets back?
Okay, let's. Well, if you really want to do this, everyone roll d20. Lowest gets back last. Lowest group.
I had said there was one more thing I wanted to check.
Sure, Dan. Yeah.
It was to see information about the Wizard of Winery or family trees of Barovia, because it dawned on me there's an old man serving us wine tonight. I want to know if that's the fucking dad.
So that's gonna make it tight. So you're pushing for time
Like
here.
a tiger.
So do your investigation.
Was all my time not finding my gods?
Pretty
If
much.
so, that's fine. Okay.
Roll your investigation, and then you can have disadvantage on your d20.
Sure. My investigation may as well have. Oh no, I can investigate. What happened? Oh no, I can't.
You
Even
do,
Still
worse.
a book on gods.
you do find a book. Is it genealogy? It says genealogy, isn't it? A genealogy book of Barovia, and you find such names. You find the von Zarevich name predates most things, but you find Valakovich, so the Baron, the Vokter pops up, von Holtz pops up in all of these manuscripts, and Kreskov as well, which you don't recognise. You've not seen yet. That's the only the names that you recognise with an 8, but you do spot some. So where were we doing on these D20s? So we've got.
So I got an 18.
What are we doing with the D20s?
You need to roll 2, and I'm gonna take the lowest. Mark, just roll a D20, Mark.
What?
Roll a D20.
Roll a D20.
Roll a d20.
Hang on.
Two.
What am I rolling for?
Just
Who gets back to
roll
the
it.
room last?
My lowest is a 2, Dave.
Okay.
Oh, we have to roll 2 of them.
No.
No.
Dan asked around, as Dan does.
Yeah. So it's Akxikas, Fester, and Nik that arrive last.
Okay, that's fine. What I mainly wanted to do is it means I can walk into the room without them questioning where the mace is and just put the mace in the corner of the room so there's no questions asked until later.
So you've taken the room out of the chapel, and put it into this room.
Yeah, the mace is now in this room, just leaning against the corner in one of the corners.
Sure. And then everyone.
Why you've done that?
No, you're not in the room yet.
Oh.
So everyone arrives back.
That's why I wanted to know what order we got back in.
Are you hiding
Tell me
it?
when I'm there.
Sorry?
You're not hiding it though.
No, I'm putting it in one of the corners by the racking, so the racks are closed, kind of obscuring it, but I'm not hiding it specifically.
Gotcha.
So it's just in there.
Okay, so that to me sounds like a perception check from the second group.
I think you're safe, Adam. Oh. Where was that earlier?
Jesus.
Okay. Fester notices a mace that wasn't there before.
What's this thing? I recognise this.
I'm like, don't
James,
ask me.
Rokkr.
Then
How
I
did that
go,
sneak in?
don't ask me, and go and grab a flannel and start wiping my
Yeah.
pits.
Do you guys? Does it say before? This knobbly thing.
Have you seen a mace before?
That's a mace. I have heard tell of these.
It's like cats with cucumbers.
Looks similar
As
to
he
your
points
hitting
it,
stick.
I noticed
Yes.
it jump. Like a cat with a cucumber, I noticed the mace.
Um,
It's strange to me.
Jarek will just literally say in response to Fester's, because obviously I've travelled with Fester before and everything, and just say leave it for now. We'll talk about it after the dinner.
Oh, I was going to take it with me.
Okay, so a brief description of what everyone's going to be wearing for dinner. Let's start with Akxikas. What's Akxikas going to look like for dinner?
However I'm told to. whatever they give me.
He's just going to be wearing black and satin if he can, let's be honest.
Yeah, black and satin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jarek?
Anything that I can get away with that kind of looks like priestly, if anything's like a priestly robe or dress, kind of deviate towards that. I don't know. Some form of priestly robes. Let's go with the dark green with wooden toggles.
Nice. Fester?
Some flowing green jodhpurs, like knee-high riding boots made of like a really brushed sort of like soft leather, and then a cream blouse almost
Druids
done to
wear
just slightly level with my nipples. And I've washed my hair, so it looks nice.
Nice. So, Nik?
Scarlet Pimpernel from Blackadder.
Awesome.
That's just black and satin again, isn't it?
No.
And then Rokkr.
So yeah, I'm gonna try and get the worst of the stench off me. If there are any blood stains on my attire or anything like that, I'm gonna brush them off. How dazzling are my bracers?
Rock on, Tommy.
They would go underneath. You'd be able to pull something long sleeve over the top of them. They're leather, just sort of faded leather.
Faded leather, so no, they're staying on. So I'm pretty much going as I am. I'm leaving my weapons behind me. I have.
I'm just going to say, where are we leaving the weapons? Because
in this room.
Right, okay.
Well, yeah.
With
I'm
that
not putting mine next to the
mace
mace. I'm putting mine on the opposite side of the wall
Don't
to the
draw
mace.
attention to it.
I was going to prop my sword up with the mace, because then we'll just collect all our weapons as normal.
Is that what we're thinking?
I could make a pile of weapons, and then we just collect our weapons.
Am I the only lawful person here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I technically don't really have any weapons other than like a pouch of marbles. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Magic bowls.
Are you lawful, chaotic lawful, or
me?
What? Yeah,
I'm lawful neutral.
Lawful neutral. Okay.
I'm meant to be like Judge Dredd, but that's just too much.
Mate, that's not Dread.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't do Judge Dredd. I'm not doing Judge Dredd.
Unless you mean the.
So yeah, I haven't got a problem stealing it. I have a problem with the consequences of stealing it, possibly. But I'm just kind of like.
Well, we've been invited politely. Why don't we just behave ourselves?
I mean, Dread's like what? Lawful evil? He's a fucking
guy's
Nazi.
A cunt. I mean, I'm not really that bothered about behaving myself, other than him killing me. Other than that,
yeah. Well, I would point out that if he wants to kill us, if we really irritate him, we don't even irritate him very much. He could just, if we irritate him a tiny bit, he could just decide to stuff us out, and there's nothing we can do about it. So please
before
behave.
we run out of time before our meal, what are we talking to him about?
Anything you want to talk about?
I ain't saying shit.
He invited us, to be fair, so I'd have thought he was going to open the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got nothing to say to this man.
At that point, Jarek will gesture forward everyone to say that we need to kind of. I've dealt with many lords over my time, but nothing to this degree.
Did we find out what the correct address for him is?
It's Your Excellency. I looked it up personally, but I did say to Dave I was looking it up in the library.
Yes, you did. That's why. Cheers, Mark.
Yeah, call him Your Excellency.
So, with that being said, just to edge our bets, as we're going to have to be, pleasant and gracious to speaking to him. I'm going to cast Enhanced Ability at a level 3. On just before the last thing we're kind of doing before we leave the room, as it were, and I'll be targeting it on Nik and I think probably Akxikas, because he's probably got the next highest charisma, I would guess.
My charisma is 18.
Yeah, so Nik and Akxikas, so for the next hour, get advantage on charisma checks to try and talk us out of stuff.
Yeah,
brilliant, superb. Any other business before you descend then? Because go on, Ted.
I've got my book on me.
Do we want to be letting the ranger go down dressed like that? We have been asked to dress nicely, and all he's done is given himself a bit of a brush down.
And I'm like, what? Do I smell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, guys!
People got a problem
Do I
with
smell?
It's not us that I'm concerned about.
It's not us that have got the problem.
We mean yes, you smell. Smelly.
Well, I mean, my argument. Sorry, precisely what have we been told to dress? How?
In the clothes he's given smartly, and when I said, can we just keep our armour on, we got a very big no, dress smartly. I'd ask the question for you as we walked up to the room.
Can we just persuade you to put on a blazer or something?
Strip him and dress him in pink.
As for armour then, presumably I have not exactly undergarments, but I have clothing under my armour.
Yeah.
Pantaloons.
Whatever it's called.
So I'm going to take my armour off, but I'm keeping my original clothes.
Sure. Okay.
He looks even scruffier.
No, I'll pick a nice jacket out and say, just put this on, just for now.
Just let him get eaten, he's fine.
Honestly,
Right, under Akxikas as I drape it over my shoulder.
that's
And you
better
got
than
the-
nothing, sir. Better
Yeah.
than nothing.
The
At least-
journey to there to convince me to put it on my shoulder.
I'm more baffled by a blaze than he did by a mace. This is a day of new things.
No,
S-
I'm sympathetic
I'm
with him. I
literally
don't like
seething.
dressing-
My character is literally on tenterhooks, ready to explode at any given moment.
I'll just point out you have to say.
I'm still
the
putting on the
correct thing
white
to say.
powder, and I just point
No,
it
I'm
to
just
Jamo as in
explaining
the-
to people why I'm so belligerent, why I don't
No,
want to wear these
I
clothes.
totally,
because
I totally understand. So I don't want to push you too much because
Yeah.
I totally get where you're coming from.
I'm playing my
Stop talking.
character. I'm playing my character.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be awkward, but
No.
he does employ the guy that killed my
Yeah.
reason for living and nearly killed me, kind of
So,
thing. So
you-
I'm
you
ready
don't
to
want-
burn the fucking place down. To be quite honest.
Have you seen?
But
now.
Jacob, have you
So-
seen? Oh, fucking hell.
So you don't want any white face powder.
Right. Come on,
Yeah,
then, let's go down.
there's little
Right,
eyeliners, a little mole on my top
Yes,
lip.
please. Take
Nice.
us down.
Nice.
Let's go, because otherwise we're not going to get this dinner done before we have to finish tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Before Adam hits
So there's
him with his
a
large lumpy thing.
there's a polite knock on the door,
Mace.
and Escher's going to walk in through the same. We're on this map, aren't we? So through the same door, and he'll look around, all of you, and he will take in each of you individually and say, "Wonderful, yes, you'll all do. Are you ready to have dinner with the Lord?"
I said no. I am ready, and I'll point to my redness. See,
You're dressed in black.
yeah, but I am red personally. So look, I'm ready.
Oh, you are. You're a tiefling.
Yeah, he is.
So he'll indicate the door opposite, and he'll say that this is probably the easiest way to go down, and he'll lead you, instead of going up, he'll lead you down this spiral staircase. So I'm going to take you to the main floor map. I'm going to take Festus tokens nearest to me. So as you circle down here, you come along this corridor here, which was the main entrance. That's the entrance to Castle Ravenloft through there. And that's the staircase that you ascended to get up to where you were. So this is kind of like a back entrance. Here, you can still hear organ music coming from, and Escher will stand next to the door and just stop, and he'll say the master is on the last refrain. If we can just wait until he's finished, and then there's a massive crescendo of music. This organ music, skillfully, expertly played from the other side of the door, and then silence. And Escher sort of holds up his hand, and he sort of seems to be counting. And then when he gets to a certain point, he swings and opens the door.
Do an encore?
I'm just looking at my
It was
nails.
naked.
picking
Plays
some
you
out
put on his
teeth.
clothes.
completely nude.
Well, you know what they say? If in doubt, get your penis out.
Can you tell me a good point to go for a drink?
Go for it, Jim.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
Carry on.
I shall do
I
the-
can
I
hear
shall do the
something
same.
Oh, Johnson.
Oh God, it is hot.
It is.
Just a touch.
We've had 4 paddling pools up for the kids today, just mini ones that they can jump into and out of. I went in myself.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Oh, my dear brother's got a colossal one that is deployed at the end of his garden. It's like 4 meters
Is it full
wide.
now?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, Phil's pool is open for business.
Happy days.
Yeah.
So Tom dropped off all my heresy earlier. It's a lot of heresy.
Oh, have you got it? Have you got the new set?
Yeah.
Oh, the game, you mean? Oh, I thought you meant. The book.
Yeah, you know, I told you more, didn't I, that they've made
Yeah.
Horus Heresy into a game.
Yeah, you can get all the Primarchs, can't you? All the dead ones.
But they're not dead.
Yeah, I've got. I've got
Well,
the
the-
Lionel Johnson.
Yeah. It's,
The
there must be
one
somebody
the
called
one tree
Lionel
price.
Johnson that works there. There's no way on earth that it's called him. They must know a Lionel Johnson, and it'd be some sort of homage to him. That's what I reckon.
It's probably like Jervis Johnson's best mate at school or something.
Yeah. Who was the first Primarch to die then? Come on.
No idea. I don't read them.
It was
Oh.
the Iron. No,
Yep. You're right. Iron
it's not Iron Warriors. It's Iron. Oh,
Hands.
Hands.
yeah.
Yeah, Ferrus Manus. Which
That's
literally
it.
means iron hands. In Latin.
Yes.
Ferris is of iron, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I had a fighter in Warcraft called.
Yeah,
Ferris.
on Istvan, killed by the Slanesh one.
Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
It's a traditional Slanesh name.
Like that, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I've just saved it. Never mind. Right, I'll give you the description as you walk into the dining hall. 3 enormous crystal chandeliers brightly illuminate this magnificent chamber. Pillars of stone stand against dull white marble walls supporting the ceiling. In the centre of the room, a long, heavy table is... we're having a tour of Adam's kitchen.
It's because I can listen while making my cup of tea.
Yeah, no problem. A heavy table is covered with a fine white satin cloth. The table is laden with many delectable foods. In terms, I'm just going to skip that. So there's sort of sweet fruits and other
Skip to the end.
nibbles, delicate china and silver. At each plate is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid with a delicate, tantalising fragrance. At the centre of the far west wall, between the floor to ceiling mirrors, stands a massive organ. Its pipes are still humming from the refrain. Seated at the organ, facing away from you, a single caped figure.
It's Batman.
Stops and turns towards you. Let me just give you this art, because this is from the campaign. I will like that picture though. I wish I could figure out how to pipe music to you properly and sound effects and things. That would be awesome.
I thought you did.
I did, but it took.
Played that piece all the way through. It's fucking beautiful.
No, I still haven't, Mark. From when you said, I will have a listen to it. Yeah, but it took up loads of. What's it? I did it through Discord, but I'd have to share my screen for you to be able to listen to it.
Yeah.
And all I need to do is send music to you as opposed to the video as well, because it just saps the bandwidth.
I like the.
I think is a word.
I like thinking it was the one out of Watchmen. You know, when he's on Mars creating his big fucking.
Nice. You know what I was gonna.
Palace.
You know what initially I was gonna go with. I was gonna go with an organ version of "Plug-in Baby" by Muse. Because that scales nicely. It's quite dramatic. They do dramatic well, don't they?
Yes.
Right. So let's just remove Festa from the room. So in front of you, turning round.
Just have been killed.
So that you see.
Give it time.
Let me
Give it
just
time.
make that visible so you can see what's going on. In front of you is a very stately figure. Fine chiselled bones, a widow's peak sleeked back, dressed in it's just shy of armour. It's more sort of ornamental wear. Well cut, well dressed, finely polished, handsome, very pale looking chap turns towards you, and he will open his arms and say, "Gentlemen, finally."
Who's currently paler, me or him?
Well, Your Excellency.
And Escher will walk in next to you, and he'll say, "Gentlemen, may I introduce Strahd von Zarovich?" And with a flourish, Escher bows and leads you all into the room. Strahd himself will look around and he will say one by one. He will say, Akxikas, Jarek, Fester, Nik, and Rokkr. Finally, we get a chance to meet. As Lord of the Land and you, my new subjects, I feel I must apologise that this is the first time such distinguished guests, the first time I've been able to host such distinguished guests. Before I go any further, I have one thing that I must do, and from inside a pouch, he pulls out a wand and passes a wand of magic missiles to Nik and says, "Thank you for letting me study this. I've never seen one before."
Welcome. Did you learn anything interesting of it?
I've learnt that it's a trinket. It's an interesting trinket. But come,
Makes the
sit
room
down.
go boom.
And he will. What he'll do at this point, his brides enter the room, the same door that you filtered in through. So 3 brides. Escher's still there, and this veiled lady will walk through as well. And Escher will start to arrange you into particular seats.
In it though.
And Strahd will sit at the head of the table.
I put the jacket on the seat behind me. I sort of casually take it off me and put it on the seat back and just sit down.
Oh, I'm sat next to a scary old woman.
I'm sat next to 2.
So, Escher will next to Strahd. Escher has a little bell, and he'll ring the bell.
Lady,
Entering the room from the same entrance again, you can see she was introduced to you before as Helga. Helga will arrive with what looks like there's sort of nibbles on the table. So one thing that you will notice, there's olives and dates and
Hummus.
There is hummus, and there's little nibbles. So there's that. You know how they do olive oil with balsamic vinegar in the middle with bread dips and all that kind of business?
Yeah.
But you very much straight away notice that these are exotic, imported delicacies.
Not of this land, potentially.
Not of this land, indeed. And Escher will say, please continue. And as Helga comes in, she brings a starter. Now, I'm quite happy. I like to think of this as a collaborative storytelling event. Can we think of a starter? Something. I was trying to think of something French, but the only thing that came to mind was like French onion soup or something of that nature. But
Mushrooms in a creamy cheese sauce.
I'll be up for that.
sounds
Bit
good.
of blue cheese and
It's
some
my,
mushrooms.
it's my starter anywhere I go, so if Strahd can provide that.
Sure. Crispy, crunchy mushrooms in batter, or just
If it's in the creamy sauce, no.
not so much. So
that,
not
that
right. Gotcha.
dipping garlic mayo if it's in batter.
Okay. So we'll have mushrooms in cream sauce, and another a bread is served. Got garlic.
Garlic bread.
I don't think there'd be any garlic bread.
Sensation.
Yeah.
It's a bit of pitter for the hummus.
The future.
A minted pea hummus, if you will.
In case we have trouble with the mayor.
So as you sit there, and again, this the sort of wine that you can see, and you can see a bottle on the side, and it's in a cooling rack, and it is a bottle of the champagne that's produced by the Wizard of Wine's winery. This is the finest of the finest that can be brought to you. As
You've never tried baby sham.
Can you still get baby sham?
I don't know. Somewhere in Scotland, I thought.
It'll be on the rack next to White Lightning, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those Bucks Fizz with things with the tinfoil tops.
Nice. Bucks Fizz on a Christmas morning. Like it.
Yeah.
So Strahd will turn towards you all, and he will say, "So, gentlemen, I I have neglected you. I have been busy of late. Normally, when I get visitors such as yourself, I'd try and give you all of my attention, but my attention has been elsewhere for a little while now. So, again, apologies for not giving you my undivided attention. But tell me, how do you find my land so far?
It's yeah, it's all right. It's a bit dark, bit gloomy, but I'm from a place called Avernus originally, so comparatively speaking, this is it's pretty lush.
Well, I'm sure you understand the nature of why there's no sunlight, given the fact that we are vampires.
Yes,
Was it winter?
we've been made aware of the vampire type thing.
So how much? Because I haven't I haven't managed to keep a total track of you. I know that you've been through the village of Barovia. You've been to Vallaki. But I don't think you've been any further east. You've certainly not been into the mountains of the south. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct. We have ventured into the tourist traps. However, upon your behest, we obviously would not wish to miss our opportunity to finally meet the important person that you are.
He sort of gives you a little bow.
Your Excellency.
Nice.
I was trying to come earlier, but they kept dragging me away. You always sounded like a person of interest to me.
Well, it normally when personages such as yourself arrive in Barovia, they do everything to avoid coming for dinner with the Dark Lord in the Dark Castle. But I was pleased to get your note of apology, and straight away I thought these are gentlemen that I could have a great deal of fun with in future. So. Tell me.
I kind of look at him like when he says fun, like just like a.
Certainly, are you a gamer? I've heard of this Dungeons and Dragons. Would you like a game?
I thought you were asking him if he was.
Could we not
We've
mention
had
the
to start a
dungeons to
campaign
him?
within a
Can we
campaign.
start a campaign with Strahd as the DM?
Wow, that a game within a game. That's just inceptioned my head off.
I just lost the game.
Dan broke D&D.
Again.
So he will say. So, I mean, obviously, I've brought you here to find more out about you, and likewise, so you can ask me many questions. Let me ask if I may, because obviously you say, Nik, that you were here to meet me, but also, did you manage to deliver what you were supposed to Cyrus? And he looks between Nik and Rokkr.
Not at all.
Excellent. That will keep him happy, and it will keep Morgantha happy. They do entertain me so. And Jarek, if I may ask, and it is an impertinent question. So far, how do you fancy your chances of surviving my land with your current squad?
So at that kind of question, Jarek will kind of glance around at the table and say, it depends, and then kind of look back to it depends what your lands throw against us, my lord. Sorry, is it to say Excellency?
Your Excellency.
Correct.
Yeah.
Your
Your
Excellency.
Excellency.
Yeah, Excellency.
Well, in fairness, you've managed to deal with everything reasonably well so far. I know you had a little difficulty with Morgantha, but I'll try and keep things to a level playing field until I decide that you're ready.
Much.
Which one was Morgantha? I can't remember.
The
Was
knight.
that the head hag?
Yeah.
I couldn't quite remember which one it was. Yeah, that's fine.
And so, if I may, Akxikas, how do you find the new Morrigan?
Strange, not the same. I was going to ask you about the Baron that she's with. You know what's the story with him? Because she seems to believe he's some sort of father figure. I mean, I assume he's a friend of yours. What's the story with him? Can you tell me?
I have no love for the Baron, but the little people do as they will. I am too old and too bored of what happens in the lands. If you'll forgive the boldness, you're my entertainment. What else happens has got nothing to do with me. In terms of father figure, yeah, I believe he found Morrigan when I brought her in through the mists.
You brought her through.
I bring everyone through the mists. No one leaves or arrives without my say-so.
Was it a werewolf that tore off her arm?
Yes, it was one of my pets.
I'll just sit quietly and control my breathing.
And Fester,
Your Excellency.
if I hear correctly, you've not managed to find Argo yet.
I am following up a lead, shall we say?
Sure. Just for your information, I'm sure this will help. He's not currently in Barovia, but he should be returning within a few days.
Interesting. Would you elaborate any further?
Let's just say he's on a little expedition that I've sent him on.
Oh no, I meant as in where he'd be arriving to.
Him and his two brothers will be in the camp just outside of Vallaki.
Ah, okay. Yes, that's similar to what I've heard.
And Rokkr, how are you dealing with the fact that Hexadin is here?
This is where we die.
Oh, look,
He's pissing on me chips.
Forgive me, Your Excellency. Your question is not appropriate. I don't feel it should be answered.
He's finding it tough.
Nice. I'm going to ask you for the first roll of the meal then, Jim. Let's have a persuasion check from Rokkr. You're still finding it difficult to control yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just have a persuasion. Yeah, no, I'll not apply disadvantage. Just give me a persuasion check then, dude.
That was nearly a 1.
Okay. He's going to say, "Come now, Rokkr. We are all friends here. This is a safe space." Sorry, I can't say that phrase without giggling a little bit. This is a safe space. We're here to talk. There is no animosity. I've sent Hexadin away. If you have something to say about Hexadin, please feel free to tell me.
I have no love for the man. I, as you are presumably aware, have had a run-in with him in this realm, and my emotions got the better of me. I do not intend for that to happen again.
Yes, I must admit I wasn't able to attend the funeral of the Burgomaster, but Hexadin did inform me what happened. I instructed him certainly not to injure any of you, and then when he told me, I was a little disappointed, but I see you've recovered.
Sort of nod for that.
Yeah, it's difficult for me because obviously I've brought you here as my entertainment, and yet you seem to have a personal vendetta that takes away from my enjoyment. So I'm intrigued to see what happens between you and Hexadin in the future. And
As am I, Your Excellency.
yeah, indeed. So tell me, Nik, how fares your journey so far in Barovia? I believe you have a question that you wish to ask of me.
Well,
I've got
you
cold
seem to
feet.
know a lot about the tragedies of people's past lives, and the one thing I have been searching for is the tragedy of mine, but I have come up with no answers. If you have anything that you could enlighten me on what happened to my mother, and I dare say if you know of what gave the command.
You mean? Yes, I know what you mean. And he again goes inside this pouch and he pulls out a piece of cloth, which is the symbol, the emblem that was left next to your the massacre near your mother.
That's the ticket. I've been looking for that. Where would I find that other than in your pocket?
This is an old symbol. This is no longer used. This was my father's symbol.
How would that symbol still be in use within the last decade or so, or does time here in Barovia not follow our normal perceptions?
The time in Barovia is similar to wherever you came from. I think you, if I remember correctly, you were from Faerû, from the Sword Coast.
Is that right? Jarek? Yeah. Yes!
It is a similar timeline. Basically, if I may be so bold, when I decided to take your mother and turn her into one of my spawn, I did not want you to see my crest at the time until I was ready to summon you in. And then he motions towards the veiled lady across from you, and he says, "My dear, if you wish to drop your cowl," and as she pulls back the cowl, it's your mother. With
This is the
red
point
eyes,
in the soap opera where we go to the end of the episode.
red eyes and fangs.
You look different. Last time I saw you, mother, you were dead.
She makes no reply whatsoever, and she's just sort of staring at the plate in front of her. And Strahd will say, "It's okay, dear. You can talk to him." And she looks up slowly towards you, and then cocks her head slightly to the side. And then you can tell that all she's doing is looking towards your neck. And then she sort of smiles, and you see the points of her teeth. And
Mummy
Strahd
would
will
like
say, "Come, my dear, we know better than that. These are our guests."
Mummy wants a bite.
Mummy, bitty.
So it looks like my mother.
It is your mother. Yes, it's exactly
It
the same
is.
as your mother. Yeah.
I'm holding the cutlery quite tight.
I'd say, Mama, if I was a penguin.
So Helga will come and go. The mushroom starter. I don't know if you've touched it. If you've done anything in between discussing all of this.
Can I ask, are the vampires eating as well?
No. You guys are just eating. Everyone else has. I want to say that they have sort of goblets filled with what very clearly looks like blood in front of them, and they will just sip from that. But they're clearly. I mean, Strahd is gesturing for you to eat everything that comes in front of you, every course. So we'll move on to fish course. What should we have for fish course? It's got to be some kind of smoked salmon and prawn type.
Salmon.
I like a bit of smoked salmon.
Salmon and prawn? That's weird.
Oh, I like a bit of
Just
smoked
too
salmon.
weird.
So,
So
something
the salmon I'm fine with, but
just smoked
prawn?
salmon then.
What?
Something exotic, something that you wouldn't expect from Barovia.
Jelly deals.
To be honest, just salmon I wouldn't expect from Barovia.
No, true.
Pickled egg.
I was thinking about pickled eggs earlier.
Oh, I was going to say deviled eggs.
Yeah. That's uncanny. Two people thinking about pickled eggs in the same day. Imagine that.
Have you
Clearly,
both?
you've never been to Blackpool.
Yeah, you both walked past a chip shop in Blackpool recently.
You get massive pickled onions in Yorkshire chippies,
You do down here, mate.
do you?
Yeah.
You don't here. You don't even get
If you want.
mushy peas here. You don't. You have to ask to get your
What?
sausage with batter here. It's fucking shit.
Yeah, Liverpool's
Fucking
weird. dude.
heathens.
Yeah, they have
Liverpool is
marrowfat
weird.
peas like people from Wigan. Wigan people are the same. And they have the green water from the peas. Like, check this out for growth. The green water that the peas fester in, they have that poured onto their pie. They call it pea wet. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
To be fair, one of our mates drinks cabbage water, so, you know.
That wazzer.
You know, obviously, when you're boiling your cabbage and stuff,
Yeah,
our mate Jay has been known to drink the cabbage water.
that's grim.
He is a bit
That-
strange.
But Jay,
Does he eat his
if
own
you could
shit
list the
as well?
things that he's actually done, we'd be here like a
Long
week.
time.
Yeah.
But,
So
you know,
the meal will continue, and a second course will come out, and Strahd will turn back to you.
just another starter.
Fish course.
Oh, it's an actual course.
I don't know.
So it's not like salmon and blinis with some creme fraiche and a bit of.
Sounds
I think
good enough for me.
Has anyone seen the Burbs with the sardines and the pretzel? I can
Ugh.
something like that.
Many moons ago.
Everyone should have seen the Burbs because Carrie Fisher's in it.
Do like salmon and a blini.
Yeah, I do.
Blinis
So
are
Strahd
not
will
horse
turn.
Horseradish.
That's it. Salmon and horseradish blini.
Nice. Strahd will turn to you all and he'll say, "So, gentlemen, many revelations this evening. Do you have any questions for me?"
Yes, please. I've tried to keep calm. Well, my patron has asked me to look at the tomb of Kazan, and I would like your permission to do so. Obviously, if you don't grant it, I can't just be wandering around your castle doing whatever I want. So I'm asking permission up front. Would it be okay? Feel free to come with me. But we've been asked to check out the tomb of Kazan.
The tomb of Kazan. Let's have this persuasion check. I believe you've still got advantage from Jarek's enhance ability.
Oh yes, I remember that. So,
You're welcome.
welcome. Thank you. Roll with advantage. Roll. 17.
Right. Bear with me. I'm just going to give Strahd a roll for that then. So.
We'll just say that he fails it.
It's. What should we roll that against? Would he want you to do that? I think he'd
his
be more
worst
intrigued
stat?
than anything at this point.
I'm going to be completely open with him. If he asks me, "Who's your patron?" Why are you doing this? Because he doesn't know about the tarot reading, so I can be completely truthful, completely without saying that the wizard will help us against him. I can tell my story truthfully without him knowing anything about that.
Right, I'll tell you what's going to happen then. So as he sat there with his goblet of blood in one hand, he sort of he's staring at you intently, and you can tell he's trying to decide what to do. And from the inside of his this mystical pocket that he's pulling things from, you can see he pulls out a copper coin, and he starts dancing the copper coin across his hand. And he's quite clearly, as an arcane practitioner, you could tell that he's casting a spell at you. What do you want to do?
I will willingly fail the saving throw. I don't intend to lie to him.
Okay, so it's a broad question this for Akxikas. What is going through his mind right now? What is he thinking about? What is his goal?
Right, my goal is to fulfil the will of Yogg-Sothoth.
And
how that is. And at the moment, the only clue I have to be able to proceed with that is what I've told the Count.
Okay. And how are you feeling generally? What's the mood like?
I am very tense. I'm trying to be. I know I've got to be nice to him, but I think he's a cunt, and he knows that I think he's a cunt, and I've still got to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one
Okay.
of them.
So as he's dancing the coin across backwards and forwards, and all I'll say to you is I like the phrase when rolling for DC, meets it, beats it, is all I'll say to you. So you're 17, and he'll say to you, okay, granted. However, you venture into the crypts, you take your life into your own hands.
Would my companions be able to accompany me?
Absolutely. Feel free.
That is very kind of you. Once dinner is concluded, assuming my colleagues are agreeable.
On a full stomach.
We'll go and.
You're not jumping in a pool, Ted.
I'm going to say in
We don't know yet, do we?
Anyone that doesn't seem to be playing along, I'll just say in their head, it's the wizard, the tarot cards. Think about the tarot cards.
Oh, okay. So you're actually saying that you're broadcasting
I'm
that with
not saying that out loud.
No, you're broadcasting it with your thingamajig.
Yeah.
Okay. So as and again, you very much get the impression that while he's playing with this coin, just dancing it across his knuckles, he turns back towards Nik, and he will say to you, so this has been a little bit of a surprise to you. Do you have any further questions? And before you do, what's going through Nik's mind and how is Nik feeling?
Trying to see if he could communicate telepathically, so I was going to try and ask my next question of what do you know of Saloon and Shah in my head, just to see if I could talk to him without Hag's hearing.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to finish so that I could try and just see if I could do a telepathic message.
Sure. So as you sat there and he's looking at you intently, what everyone else sees then is Strahd looking rather regal, pleased with himself, at ease with his gauntlet. He's addressed Nik directly, and you see what does Nik look like as he's doing this? Is there any concentration or anything like that? Anything visible?
It's just looking at him. It's kind of a I wonder if this will work sort of.
Okay. And in response, Strahd sort of nods and he'll say, in fact, I was going to get you to roll this for me, Dan. I'm not going to tell you what his bonus is, but can you roll a d20? I'm going to get you to roll a religion check for Strahd.
Strahd.
So
Okay.
you roll a d20. I'll
Bonus.
apply his modifier. That's a pretty good roll. And in response, all the rest of you guys here is Nik hasn't said anything to him, but Strahd will say to you, yes, of course, Shah and Saloon, the two sisters at war, goddesses of Faerun. It's a difficult one for me to answer. Shah and Saloon have been at war since the beginning of time on Faerun. And I've pondered this. I've pondered you. And all I could think of, you have been touched by both. And all I could think of is their war has descended into you. You are their current battleground. And he will go on to say, so tell me, which side do you think you'll choose?
Whichever provides the
Weasels.
most power. However, I believe if balance can be achieved, that's where the greatest power lies.
I'm trying to get weasels.
Good answer. So again, he'll sort of he's twirling this, and he'll say, "I wish we could continue. Perhaps another time." And then he'll turn back towards Jarek this time, and he'll say, "So how do you think this new squad of yours is coming together in terms of a fighting force? Do you think you will hold the course?" And again, before you answer, what's going through Jarek's mind? What is he thinking and feeling right now?
Well, much as the others, he's feeling very tense, but probably not as much so. He's kind of running through a lot of kind of military calming techniques just to keep himself calm and steady at the table. Mostly just concentrating on listening to the conversation, what's going around, and still concentrating on the spell that he's got on the other two.
Sure.
It is a concentration.
Yeah. Okay. So answer to the question then.
Sorry, what's the question? Was the how do you
your
think?
new squad? He's very much. You get the impression he's he's honed in on the fact that this is your new squad, your new sort of military family, and he wants to know how you think you're going to do.
We could be bridge burners.
So again, I'll pause in my eating and actually take a time to think over this for a moment and say, as with any new forming squad, as with any new forming, team, unit, squad, whatever, we have some rough edges, but they are, to coin a term from another game, frustratingly effective.
Is that from your game?
Yeah.
That's our catchphrase.
They've even got a group name. They're now called 3.5 Men. Frustratingly effective is what we do.
Nice. So it is at this point that Strahd, you notice that the coin will stop, and then he'll put it into his palm, and then he'll ponder as the next course comes. Helga comes again. Leaf will enter as well. It's just make you aware of everyone again. So Helga's serving the food. Leaf will pour out a little bit more of the champagne.
Are there any similarities in Leaf's face between Unwind that would look like a family connection? Because I realise we're very bad at asking names, and we never actually asked what his dad's name was.
No.
Wilf.
There's no resemblance.
Nothing at all. No, there's no family resemblance whatsoever between the Martikovs, Unwind Martikov. No. Sorry, Ted. Did you want something? I thought you.
Well, I just want to go for a pee.
Go.
It's you do best.
Go on then. Shall we have a pee break?
Aye. Not
Only
too much water.
A sausage roll.
Here's a question for you, Mark. When I'm coming up next week, what we're going to watch? Did you want to watch The Boys?
We could do, because I was looking at it on Netflix, which I've still got.
It's on Amazon. No, The Boys is.
Amazon, yeah.
Amazon Prime, that's what I meant. I wasn't on there. So I'll never go on there. It's on Amazon Prime, yeah. So I'll be up for watching that. Mark Probert said it's brilliant as well. So recommendations from many, and the scene he described to me sounds one of the funniest things ever. Almost as good as Bruce Campbell with his head stuck up the zombie's arse.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that is the funniest thing I've ever seen on television. Is in Ash vs Evil Dead when he gets his head stuck up a zombie's arse. It is so funny. I thought I was going to wee.
As not a reader of graphic novels, so I've no concept of it at all. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I don't know whether that's a positive or a negative, but
because me and the wife, we watched the first 2 seasons. I don't read the comics or anything, but enjoyed it. But with the 3rd one coming out, I'd like to watch the other 2.
To start again, and yeah.
I
I could easily watch them again.
We've been watching Stranger Things when I've been visiting Mark.
I do like with Stranger Things as well.
Actually, I need a wait.
Yeah, go for it.
And Dave's never seen The Thing, so I'm going to make him watch that. I can't believe you haven't seen The Thing. Everybody else has seen The Thing, haven't they? Please tell me.
As in the old film?
The John Carpenter one from 1982.
Yeah.
Dave's never seen it.
It's a great board game as well.
It's the Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maidens, loosely based on a similar.
The book's called Who Goes There. Oh, I think it's a short story called Who Goes There that it's based on. But people say it's a remake of The Thing from Another World, but I don't really think it is. It's just straight from that. Let's say this is possibly the best animatronic effects I have ever seen. I mean, when the head grows spider legs and eye stalks and scuttles off behind a filing cabinet, it's like bearing in mind it's 1982. It's like that looks boss. It really does.
I am looking forward to it, mate. I don't because I mean, is it horror? Would you call it horror?
It's more thriller. It's Kurt Russell's the main plays the main character.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's certainly not horror. Well, it's not scary. It's a bit Lovecraftian, I suppose, in the sense that it's like the monster does look a bit well, it could be anything, but there's scenes where it looks like lots of dogs all coming together. It is quite Lovecraftian.
Okay. That's it.
But every single piece of it's alive in its own right. So if you chopped off a hand, the hand would become a living entity in its own right. Just carry on trying to kill you.
Are you telling me spoilers here, Mark?
No, not at all.
All right.
You can't really give spoilers for a film that's that old. It's definitely past the time.
I even quite enjoyed the prequel. I mean, it's not a patch on the original, but it's it was worth watching. I wasn't like I had also called The Thing, which is the new, and it ends exactly where The Thing starts, exactly, which I thought was quite clever. And all the bits that you'll see in The Thing, the things they find and things they see in the prequel, you get all of those things happen, so you can see where where they're coming from. So,
okay.
But
I look forward to it, mate. I look forward to it. I do. But it was just about the series that we're going to get into as we sit there and do nothing. For
well, it's going to be up to you, mate, as usual. But I say I'm happy with Stranger Things or The Boys, because everyone I know has spoken about it, so it's really funny. And I said, Mark told me about something that happens that he didn't want to tell Dave about, so I'm not going to mention it. But it sounds incredibly funny.
I think that'll be the new one, because he said he started watching the new one.
When he first told me about it, it sounds like hilarity on par with the head up the zombie's arse. Which was really funny. When he gets seat in the car, it stinks as shit.
I do have another novel recommendation for you as well. Christopher Buehlman, Black Tongue Thief.
Black Tongue Thief.
Yeah, he's.
Nicholas Eames. I've remembered the name.
Oh, Nicholas Eames is well good.
Yeah.
Have you read the Kings of the Wild, Adam? Nicholas Eames. It's a very good. How I describe the novel, Kings of the Wild. It's possibly how you'd want a game of D&D to progress, or a short campaign of D&D to be. It's absolutely brilliant. It's so much fun. But Christopher Buehlman, he's a horror writer. I believe by trade, but Black Tongue Thief is it's really good novel. Oh yeah, I'm reading Dune because I enjoyed the film. I've watched the film 3 times now. The first time I didn't get it, second time I got it, and the third time because I've read about half of the film's worth of the book, if that makes sense. Yeah.
It was nice to see some of the characters fleshed out. But he's a bit like Stephen Erickson in that he just throws you straight in, and you don't get any explanation as to what anything is. You just expect to work it out.
Okay.
In the book, he's talked about a mentat, or being trained as a mentat, and they've got a mentat working for them. Doesn't tell you what one is or what they do. But so I looked that up, and the mentats they've outlawed AI because it was thought to be it's going to cause mankind. We would eventually do a Terminator. Make machines that can think. They'll think they're better than us and try and kill us. So computers have been outlawed, even though it's 10,000 years in the future. And the human mind has evolved in that time as well. We've got more access to the parts of the brain that we used to think of as psychic powers.
Right.
But it's all we've just evolved to be able to use that. And basically a mentat is a computer, but it's a person. But you train your mind so you can do immense calculations in a second and catalogue things in order for millions of things. But it doesn't make that clear in the film or the book to start with. But it's helpful to know that. And then there's the Bene Gesserit. His mum is one.
Yes. Yeah.
They're it describes them in the sort of what's what of Dune. There's like ninja nuns. They're not particularly ninja-y, but they're really hard.
Yeah.
And one of their abilities is the voice, which they just tell you to do something and you just have to do it. So it's like kill yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's because that's in the film as well. But is that women only then?
Yes.
How come Felamalad can do it then?
Because she.
Or is that? Do I not want to know?
No. She's trying to produce the. She's trying to produce the chosen one. but he's not meant to be. The plan was he was next generation. It wasn't meant to be her that gave birth to the Chosen One. She was meant to give birth to the Chosen One's mother.
Ah, but she chose son instead of.
She believed that she could force the prophecy, so she's not particularly popular with the rest of the Order. And the way it seems to be, it's you don't know, because it's clearly they've planted all the signs in Arrakis to make it think that he is the Messiah, right? Bene Gesserit have laid legends hundreds of years ago. This is a really long-term plan to create the Chosen One through like hundreds of years, and they've seeded legends around all the more primitive planets. So if they ever need to do something there, get the people on side, they can just they'll just spout their prophecy and say that you're the Chosen One, and they'll do what you want. And that's what they've done. Why the Fremen think he's the Chosen One, but he kind of might be as well, because that's how I think it's meant to be like that on purpose. Where they think it's a sham, but is it though, or is he actually the one? But I'm absolutely loving the book.
Oh, okay, good.
But it does write like Erickson a bit. It doesn't go off on the tangents Erickson does.
I am enjoying Bug and Tehol and everything, but yeah, it is all going.
Do you remember, Dave? He was a fat cunt of a priest, and he's in book 2. The Coltane one, Chain of Dogs.
Yeah.
And it's the one who betrays Colt. They betray them, don't they? They won't let them back in the city.
So many names, mate. Yeah, I'm not going to remember it.
It's where Duca first comes into it. The historian.
Diker, yeah.
Diker.
Yeah.
And how he dies, the one that he dies at the end of. I think it's book 2. And Coltane's the Wiccan general.
We'll pick this up another time, because I think everyone's ready to crack on.
Is everyone ready to rock then?
Yeah. Let's just make sure we're all in the right order. Are we all good to go?
The priest that was with him is a priest of male with the Elder God of the Sea.
All right. So where were we? He's just palmed this copper coin, and then he starts twirling it around again, and he looks like he's casting a spell again. This time it's going to be aimed towards Fester, and he will say, "So, Fester, is there anything you want to know of me?"
Now I need a wee. Now everyone's back. Sorry, I'll be.
All right, yeah. And again, I need you to tell me what Fester's thinking and feeling at the time.
Sorry, I had a slight child emergency, so.
Say again, sorry, dude.
I had to go and deal with the boy for a little bit, that's all.
That's all right, dude. That's all right. Did you get what I said?
Yeah.
So, what's Fester thinking and feeling at the minute?
Tired. Concerned. Not full health.
Yeah. And in terms of any questions for Strahd, anything Fester would want to know?
Your Excellency, you've brought us here and announced that you're interested in testing our skills. I am currently lacking, and will probably not make the end. So I feel that I may require some help if you're interested to have us at our best game.
Nice.
Which will involve me.
Nice. Let's have your persuasion roll then.
Right.
Oh, that's not good.
11. Strahd will respond by saying, most of my subjects operate under their own volition. Should you suffer a fate, and it's not in my control, unfortunately, there's nothing I could do. Rest assured, I can always find replacements for you.
So have I just gathered? I've gathered Ted's asked for help with the hags, and it's not gone well. So I feel that this would be the perfect time for me to put in the going.
I completely forgot my inspiration, didn't I?
It
I had
has been.
inspiration and I took it off. I thought it was a mistake. I thought I clicked it by mistake. Are we meant to have inspiration?
Well, if you can only use it once, I don't know if you've already used it. If you've taken it off.
No.
Sorry,
but I
Dan. What were you going to
thought
say?
Wasn't that a worn off?
It was going. It's from where I am from. It would be unkind for us to be invited to such a fantastic place without returning the favour. We have been fortunate enough for helping in the town of Barovia to have been gifted a residence of our own. We've not been able to use it due to travelling your land. However, I would like to extend to you an invitation for you to come and go as you please on our estate. And I don't know how the rules work here, but from where I'm from, a written contract is always important. And I tear the last page of my book out where the note is written. And to Count Strahd, I write on the blank side, you are always welcome to our estate. And I put with that paper the folded up deed to the windmill.
Okay.
And pass it down the table to him with the note on the back. And in my head, I then say, help with the hags, I don't believe just benefits us. And hope that he reads the note on the back.
Okay.
Just to try and give Ted a help with the persuasion for Ted.
Gotcha. What's Nik thinking and feeling at the minute?
Trying to hide the deep down hatred of what he's pretty convinced his mother, and also is probably so deep down because there's also denial. I saw her die. She wasn't bitten. So it's trying to deny it. But there's also I've been thinking about this for days, and it's in my mind really playing it through to make sure it's as clear and concise and the intentions are delivered as clearly as I would want them to be.
Gotcha. So he'll take the note. He'll looks through both sides. Looks through the deeds, and he'll take your note, and he'll fold it carefully, and he's looking at you and smiling as he carefully folds this piece of paper, and he'll say, "Thank you for this invitation into your establishment, wherever you may be." And he pockets that piece of paper.
The mood with the elephant joke.
Did you need a reminder, or did you want it saying what was written on the note just for...
No, I can remember. And he doesn't seem to pay any attention to that side of the note. All he's paying to the attention to is the fact that you've written on a piece of paper, "You are welcome into our estate." And in terms of the deed, he looks over it once or twice and says, "Yes, this was the Durst family's. I gave them the windmill." Tears it in half. "This is my land. All of it is my land." And then just casually throws the piece of paper behind him. How does that make Nik feel? And think?
A little piece of cheese.
Now I'm pissed off.
So he'll turn his attention to the group in general, and he'll stop twizzling the coin and pocket it again, and he'll say, "So, gentlemen, how are you in terms of finding the little trinkets that Madame Eva has sent you on, I assume that you have not discovered any yet?
Nope.
Not
This
at all.
This Kazan thing we think is going to be something to do with that as well. Ow.
Interesting. Tell me, what was the feel free to keep this to yourself. I know this is the end game. This would be you versus I. But what was the reading given to you by Madame Eva to do with the wizard?
I genuinely cannot remember. I have it written down somewhere, not on me, not in these clothes, which is true.
Kazan was he was the architect, the wizard that built this tower. I do know that he.
I was reading about that in the library before. It says, it seems like you were good friends at that point.
Well, like I say, you feel free to go and investigate his crypt, but I'm pretty sure that he'll be of no use to you. And in terms of everything else, you have no leads.
No, we've got a bridle and a saddlecloth, but no leads.
So main course comes in, goes, and it's to be honest. Does anyone else have anything to ask of Strahd? Is there anything that anyone else wants to confront him about or discuss with him before?
You want to hear my joke about how elephants ask for buns?
Do they just say, "Can I have some buns"?
That's how elephants ask for buns.
Nothing else.
Oh no, I'm done.
I'm rather stoic. I have nothing to ask of this man.
Yeah. So I mean, he's very much. You get the impression he's sat there again. He's sipping his blood. Throughout the dinner, that was the only other thing that I was gonna touch on. For Festa, throughout the dinner, you're sat next to Ludmilla. Ludmilla took a shine to you, so she's sort of edging her chair closer to you, and she's trying to sort of rub up against you. And every now and again, Strahd will flash her a look, and she'll sort of look down at her plate and sort of shimmy back. Would Festa have any response to this? You can see what's going on.
Ike's on your head. Yeah.
Ike's on your head.
Indeed. Tina is not happy. I will thank him for his seating position. It's very nice to see the lovely Ludmilla again. Possibly we could take a stroll at some point if Your Excellency would allow.
She looks elated by this, and as she turns, she swings towards you, and you can see. The rest of you can see, as Festa's turning towards Ludmilla, the rest of you can see just pure rage. There's a brief moment where Strahd's visage drops and he turns into just pure rage, and you hear a very brief hiss come out of him, and Ludmilla flies back out of the chair. It's not quite close enough to the wall, but how I'd like to, if she was a little bit closer to the wall, I'd like to imagine that she flies halfway up the wall and sticks to it, sort of very. Is it Van Helsing where they do that in the film? Yeah, I quite like that.
I did slide in vampires. Yeah.
Well, it's Kate Beckinsale in leather. Yes. And she sort of settles down, and again the mask, the mask of Strahd drops, and he'll say to Ludmilla, "Come now, dear, none of that. Let's have an insight check. I'm going to have a group insight check now." Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, natural one.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Natural one.
Yeah.
13.
So it's all on
20.
Oh, okay.
Perfect person to get it.
Oh, that's what Kanye West would have said.
Right. So in terms of the room itself, what seems to be happening? Strahd's in charge. Lord Miller's erred, and he's remonstrated it. The rest of them are petrified of the Dark Lord. This figure of cunning and evil.
I know. I feel the turtle's heads out for me as well.
But you also notice there, especially from Escher, he almost gives a sort of a petulant eye roll, and you can see that he's doing it when he's not in line of sight of Strahd, as if, oh, again. But you very much get the impression he wouldn't be doing it if Strahd was looking at Escher. Just momentarily, just a, gauging the room type scenario.
I gauged it once. Oof.
So the meal continues. Strahd sits there lording it up. Say again, sorry, Ted.
I was going to say, Your Excellency, unfortunately, Lord Miller appears to have fallen from her chair. Would you mind if I help her up?
By all means. By all means. Lord Miller.
Thank you.
That's enough of that type of behaviour.
Gonna need a new druid.
he seems amused by this, if anything. And Lord Miller now she's just staring at a plate. She's making no move whatsoever. So likewise, Shmi now.
Shmi again.
Nik's mum is just continuing with this sort of crooked look, just staring at the pulsing vein.
Do I
on your
notice
neck.
she's staring at me?
Yeah.
As I'm eating, it's just. You heard from Dad recently?
She's just fixed, totally fixed. There's absolutely nothing behind her eyes, just hunger looking at your neck.
I mean, you couldn't shut her up about Dad, but.
So, anywhere else we want to take the lunch with Strahd then?
Can we take it outside for a picnic?
What was pudding?
I think the idea of going for a walk was frowned upon.
Well, I was.
He granted permission for us to go check out the tomb.
He did, yeah. I think we might just have enough time for that if we can fit that in. But in terms of pudding, I was thinking an eating mess.
I was expecting frozen monkey brains.
Monkey brains.
Like that song by Jam.
But it'd have to be something from a warm country, and I was thinking, strawberries. Strawberries are seasonal at the minute. I like a strawberry.
Yeah. They're officially not berries, and do you know why?
The seeds are on the outside.
Seeds are on the outside.
The seeds are on the outside, correct.
Which makes the banana a berry.
The banana would be a berry if it still had seeds in it, but they don't have seeds anymore. We've bred them out.
10. Want to get the game finished.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, what time have you all got to go, by the way?
Well, shortly. I'm about to sleep.
Okay. Should we leave it there then and start down to the cellar next time?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, if that's a natural point, because I'm going on to extra room now.
Yeah. Well, it's again.
Descending into chaos. The talk as it is.
Yeah. I'm hearing you, and I do try my hardest to make it as theatrical as possible with absolutely no theatrical background whatsoever. But so we'll pick it up next time as you finish dessert, if you're all happy with that.
That was good.
Yeah.